Hi, I'm Jarvis and this is my Mixdown tutorial. So I've got my track here, Bloodbath, which is on my new EP, and I'm just going to take you through the Mixdown. So mixing down is basically the process of getting all your levels right, and it's also how you process stuff. So it's like EQing, compression, any like distortion, and it's also side chaining as well is a big part of it. It's a good idea to sort of do all this stuff as you go along, as you're making the track, because then you don't have to spend a day or two doing it all at the end. So let's take a look at Bloodbath. So I group all my stuff together, all the individual tracks together into groups if they're similar, if I want them to be at a similar level, maybe if I want to compress them all together or something like that. So I've got my main basses like that. Subs, intro stuff, which is just anything which isn't the drop. Basically, this probably could have been split into more groups, but I guess I was being lazy when I made this track, so I just chucked it all in one group. And then, as you can see, different stuff going on too. I know there's some stuff here out of the groups, but that's not important. That's just because I'm messy. So on each of the groups, I'll just chuck a volume shaper, which is just for side chaining, and it's controlled by MIDI. I'll take the MIDI from the drums, put it on a MIDI track, and then I'll just leave the kick and the snare on there like this, as you can see, and then send the MIDI of this to each relevant group, and then duplicate and repeat for every group. There you go. And I'll put those in a group. There's actually a much tidier, easier way that I do this now. This track's a bit older, but I'm not going to go into that now. So as you can see, volume shaper on each one. So that's just allows the kick and the snare to punch through. I'm sure everybody knows by now what side chaining is. If not, Google it. So EQing and compression and distortion is also very important. So within these groups, each track, it's important to get each one sounding nice and loud with compression and distortion, and EQing out any nasty frequencies that you don't want, emphasizing ones that you do want. If it makes it sound good, then go for it. So on the basses here, so I've got a compressor here, EQ, this is on a bass, so it's boosting the lows a bit and the highs a little bit too. And the elephant is a limiter, so it's limiting it, making it louder, pushing it 6 dBs. And Oxford inflator at the end, which is what I like to put on pretty much everything. It's kind of like really subtle distortion, really clean. It makes stuff louder without actually distorting it and at all. And it also limits the peaks, so that's a good thing as well. It's handy. And then on the groups as well, I also put another Oxford inflator, which it's not actually doing anything. As you can see, the effect is not on, but it's just cutting off all the peaks. So whatever level I set this group to, which I've got it at -16, I know that that is where the levels are going to be. As you can see. And also I'll put an EQ on the groups just to cut out any sub bass frequencies from anything which isn't the sub. So I'm rolling it off about 200 Hz, quite a shallow curve, and that's going to be on every group apart from the subs, obviously. It just allows the subs, it just cleans up the mix, you know, because the sub can push through in those frequencies and everything else is cut out of them. So that really is most of it. As long as it sounds good, then that's the main thing. So just use your ears, you know. Also, the last part I want to go through is getting the levels right. You've really got to use your ears for that. There's not really many kind of tricks to do that, so you just got to listen to it and try and get the levels where you want them. Obviously the drums and the sub are going to be your loudest elements, followed by your main drop basses. This is specific to heavy bass music anyway, and then everything else would be slightly quieter than those elements, but you've just got to use your ears. A good way of doing it if you're struggling is to turn everything down or off. Just get everything down to minus infinity like that, and then just bring everything in one by one. So I usually have my drums like minus 12 or minus 13 or something like that, and then just bring other stuff in. So you can hear when it gets too loud, obviously, and then you just need to pull it back until it's at the right level. Obviously it shouldn't be over minus 13 because you know that your drums and your sub are going to be the loudest things. Usually I have them at the same level, so I'll just bring that in straight away. So anyway, yeah, I could go on. It's probably boring to watch. So yeah, you should do that if you're struggling. And you generally want your master channel to be peaking no higher than minus 6. If you're releasing it with a label, if it's being sent off for mastering, they'll probably tell you minus 6, or maybe they'll tell you a different number, but they'll tell you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As with everything in music, this is obviously not the only, way of doing it. It's not the correct way or as such. There's a million ways to do everything. Find a way that suits you. As long as it sounds good to you, that's the main thing. That's it from me. My EP comes out February 3rd. It's called Bloodbath and it's on Firepower Records. Go check it out. It's a Bloodbath!